Moving on to artifacts, we have the thing that is probably the closest to a 2-mana ramp spell, and that is Corrupted Graphstone. The only problem with this ramp spell is it doesn't get you a land, and there has to be a colored card in your graveyard for it to produce mana. But if you can get those things to happen and ignore those drawbacks, you're pretty much got yourself a sweet ramp spell. If you like ramp, get it. And you want to try to play standards, yes, just get it. Just make sure you have like a way to get a colored card in your graveyard before you try to ramp. If you love to tutor, get ready for Tamiyo's Journal, which will allow you to tutor if you get a lot of clues. The more you investigate, the more this becomes usable. So if you're planning to play this in a casual format like EDH, be sure you have a couple of investigate cards. And there are quite a few nice ones that I've mentioned in this review that I would highly recommend. And with those combining with the journal, you should be able to fetch a lot of cards really quickly that you would like. Speaking of more investigating, how about the perfect tool for investigating? The Magnifying Glass! Seriously, I feel like this is actually a decent mana rock for Commander, as if you don't have anything better to spend your mana on, you can get a clue. That wasn't a pun, seriously. On top of that, we also have an interesting artifact in the form of Murderer's Axe. I feel like this is actually, if anything, the most playable artifact for Madness decks, as the equip cost is a Madness enabler. And if you need to activate multiple times, you can just keep paying it across multiple creatures. Oddly enough, all the lands in this set are really, really awesome, and we'll get to each and every one of them. Starting with the new dual lands, which are friend dual lands, in which they enter play untapped if you reveal a land of the, I guess you could say, the basic land type of the mana that these lands produce. So for example, if the land will produce blue and white, you have to reveal an island or a plains. All these lands are great. Definitely get them if you plan on playing standard. Modern, there are still some better alternatives, but I think these lands are playable in Modern. If anything, these lands shall be called the strip lands, because if you want them to do work, you have to show some skin. And by skin, I mean your hand. That's not a reference to strip mine, okay? In addition to these lands, we have a new set of the come into play tap lands, which are nice. They're nothing out of the ordinary, but I think if you're just starting up, or if you need an extra dual land to fuel your EDH deck or to hold a place of one, these lands will get the job done. In addition, we also have the Warped Landscape. This is actually really neat, as it's kind of a terramorphic expanse that can produce mana. If you're an EDH player, I would suggest this if you need another fetch land that is, well, within a budget. You do have to pay to fetch though, which might seem kind of bad, but considering how late most EDH games go, this isn't so bad. Honestly, I really like this land, and I think it will see some play in casual formats, and maybe even sometimes in standard constructed. At first glance, Drown Your Temple might seem kind of like a really weird land, but it actually is kind of cool because, in a sense, you can sacrifice it. There are a lot of cards that will make you want to sacrifice a permanent in this set, and you can sacrifice it and then make yourself play it again from your graveyard. The thing is, the activated ability does not count as your land for the turn, so after you activate that ability and put it back onto the battlefield from your graveyard, you can still play another land from your hand. This also will trigger landfall multiple times, so if you have a creature with landfall or an ability with landfall, you can somehow sack this land, bring it back, just keep getting landfall again and again. And it's kind of cool. I don't know if it's going to see a whole lot of constructed play, but the things you can do with it are kind of cute and kind of synergistic. Finally, my favorite land in this set is the West Vale Abbey, and this thing's a real doozy. First of all, it's just a colorless land, just tap it for colorless, but you can tap 5 and pay a life to get a 1/1 black and white cleric token. It also has tap 5 in itself and sacrifice 5 creatures and return it to the battlefield transformed. What does it transform into? Oh dear God, a flying lifelink indestructible haste demon! This is awesome! Seriously, this is actually a really cool land. I really like so many of the transforming cards in this set. They're just so really creative. In the original Innistrad, we had all these creatures that transformed into creatures mostly. I mean, we had Ouroboros the Blinding Blade and Chalice of Life, which were cool. But there's so much diversity here It's just insane, and cards like this I know could potentially see play. The land itself actually produces creatures, so this is actually really, really cool. If you need to block a big creature for a turn, just pay 1 life, throw out a creature. A 9/7 haste flying indestructible and lifelink is just insane. That's putting your opponent on a turn 2 clock, if not less. It has haste. This means if you have 5 creatures out already and you can somehow activate the ability, you will be able to attack with the land, or the creature that was the land, when it transforms immediately. And that's just nuts. I feel like this will see play in Standard. It could potentially see play in Modern. I think it's really good. It has lots of potential, and I just love it. Definitely get some copies of it. It is so, so good. And that does it for our entire set review of constructed cards that you will have to look out for in Shadows Over Innistrad, which is going to be coming out really soon. Like I say, these cards are meant to be for a long-term goal or a long-term project for your Standard deck, your Modern deck, your Legacy deck, your Commander deck. These are what they are there for, and this is why we play Magic. We collect these cards so that they become a big part of how we game and how we express ourselves. Overall, I really, really love this set. This set has renewed my faith in the set design at Wizards. I'm going to give this entire set a B+. There are some things I can consider doing a little bit better. I kind of wish they brought back some of the old legends like Olivia Voldaren. I think Geist of St. Traff would have been a-okay in the set, considering like cards like To the Slaughter can interact with it really well. Old Sigarda would have been great too. I'm not too thrilled with this new one. I don't think it's bad, but I just think it would have been made a whole lot more sense to bring it back, considering you have this great opportunity to reprint a card that everyone loves. Same thing with Thalia, Guardian of Thrabian. I think that could have been a great reprint as well. But I really like this set. There's so many great cards in it that are going to be good for years to come. It's just wonderful, and I'm really happy with it. I can't wait to start playing with these cards. I know a lot of you guys can't either. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking through the end of this review. This is hopefully first of many. I'm going to do another one when Eldritch Moon comes out, which is going to be, I think, in July. But until then, I'm Rita Spector. Thank you so much. Don't forget to smash that subscribe button as well. It means a lot. It does mean a lot, and your participating and watching this is absolutely amazing. And I want to thank you all for staying through the very end. I'll see you all later.